long risk reversal or short risk reversal? Short. And I'll write that down. Don't worry. So short risk reversal tip. So I'll write that down. The label for the entire position is based on the position for the call component. So therefore, if the call is long, the position, whatever the position is, whether it's a risk reversal or we'll see later a seagull, whatever, etc. Therefore, the position is called long, and if the call is short, then the position is called short. So that's where they get it from. Okay. Even with straddles and strangles, you get the name from the call. Okay. So here we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play verses. And this is what they'll do on the exam. So this is going to be short risk reversal. And what they're going to ask you to do is compare it with a base position. And what is the base plain vanilla hedged position? A protective put, right? Well, why don't we do the protective put first? I mean, protective put. I mean, let's do that first, right? So that's the underlying asset, and it says OTM. So it's just rewriting what we had before and connecting these two points. Two lines. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's your protective put. But let's see what a seagull is going to look like, right? So seagull, it's a protective put plus one extra component. So here we go. Ready? So protective put. Nothing new there. So again, that's your underlying asset. That's your long put. But I'm sorry, did I say seagull? I'm sorry, I meant short risk reversal. What's the one extra component in the risk reversal? Long or short? Big difference, right? Okay, so what does a short call look like? Well, a long call looks like this, but a short call would look like that, right? And there you have it. So this is your short call, okay? So let's do a combo line. Same principles, guys. Always start from the segment that has one position, right? So from there to there, boom, right? And then what you have here is dollar loss offset by a dollar gain, but then you get that. And why is this thing also called a collar? Maybe I should call this, I'll call this X1, and that's X2. Oops, it's too much. So that range from X1 to X2, this is actually your collar. And how would you describe that? It's the range within which I'm hedged or exposed. Exposed. Check it out. What happened to gains and losses? It's going up and down, right? So the collar is the range within which you're exposed, right? It's the range within which exposed. Trader is exposed, okay? Okay, here we go. I had a little disconnect here, so let me just write it again here. Short risk, reversal versus PP, protective put. What's the pro? And there it is. Bam, bam, right? There it is. You don't have to memorize a thing. Okay, what is it? Give me a pro. Relative to protective put. What's that? It's cheaper. Why is it cheaper? Yeah, so I'm making some income. So therefore, it is cheaper. I.e., income from short call reduces the cost of the hedge. So you know what? Let me just jump to the con. Now let me do the crisscross later. Yeah, just hang on for a sec. What's the con? Upside potential. It's right there. So now the reduced upside potential, and yeah, so yeah, this is better. So pro, con. So actually, are you looking at 4 pointers or 2 pointers? This is 2, and then they reverse, right? So what's the pro? Look at this upside. So up unlimited, upside potential, and what's the con? It's more expensive. Yeah. Okay, put a break line there. Okay, so look guys, just so you know the format for these evening classes, okay? I'll be giving you a break around 7:55, okay? So hang in there. All right? Okay, let's cover some more ground. 4 is put spread. Once again, you always start off with long underlying asset. So therefore, what's the risk? The risk is spot drop. So what's the solution? Long put. So just I'm introducing strike 1. What's this going to do? It's stop losses if when would the losses stop? If it drops below X1, right? But the thing is, it's costly. I have to pay premium. Okay. Now, in the case of a risk reversal, what did we have to do to offset some of that premium? We sold a call. What's the other option we could sell? Put. You could sell a put with X2, and what's the catch here? Well, look, guys, do you want to have the ability to sell at a higher price or lower price? Higher price. So long put allows you to sell at X1. So if you take an opposite position, you want the short put to be executed at X2, right? So what would the long put do here? He would buy at X2. I'm sorry, he would sell at X2, which means the short would have to buy it at X2. But X2 is going to be less than x1, and earn, so the premium income will reduce cost of the hedge. Now, what was the name of this position? Put spread, and that's where it is. See that? You got long put and short put. So that's where the name comes from. So put spread is your long one put, and short another put, and of course, oh my God, today is just falling into place. So where do you think the name spread came from? It's the difference between x1 and x2, right? So that's your spread. That's where the name comes from. It's got to come from somewhere, right? Okay. So let's see how this baby looks. Let's see how this baby looks. And of course, what am I plotting here? G&L, gains and losses. So of course, that's our underlying asset, right? But then what we're going to do is, here's our X1. And who's this guy? That's our long put and short put. There you have it. Happening at X2, right? So let's see how this looks like. Remember, once again, always start from the position, like a single position. So just going down this ramp, boom, we stop there, right? So what happens now? Well, a dollar loss here is offset by a dollar gain. Go, 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 go. Stop right there. Now what's happening? Now I got two downsides and only one upside. So what's going to happen to my line? It's going to go like that, right? I mean, now you can answer like 10 questions on a put spread, just looking at this diagram, right? So where's your exposure? Where are you exposed? So therefore now your exposure, and how do you identify the exposure? How do you identify the exposure? That's not exposure. Why? Because my value is constant no matter what happens to the spot price. So that's actually the hedged position. So, wingman, this one's on you. Where is my exposure? If S is greater than X1, or, see, if S is greater than X1, then I'm exposed, right? Because what's happening to my, see how I'm going between gains and losses? So if the spot goes this way, I'm gain. But if the spot comes this way, it's a loss. And where else am I exposed? If S is less than X2, right? Okay, so quick advantages, disadvantages. I want to write, you know what, protective put. I mean, geez, it's so easy. So just let me write it again. Protective put, boom, boom. So this is our put spread, and this is our PP. This is our protective put. We've written it so many times. So if we did a little comparison here, so with a put spread, which is what this is, let me just write it here. I mean, it's obvious, we're talking about it. Versus PP, protective put, right? And so here we go, ready? Geez, guys, this is becoming so routine, right? What does what does put spread have that protective put doesn't? Didn't we sell an option, right? We sold an option with put spread, right? So it's the pro is cheaper. How's it cheaper? the income from the short put. It reduced the hedge cost. And what's the con? The con is, it's right there, right? Look, see how you're protected here on the downside? But here, what happens beyond the, below X2? Your downside protection collapses, right? What's the con? Below X2, if spot drops below X2, your floor drops. Your protection, no protection. And what's the pro? We have downside protection. If spot drops below the strike, there's only one strike here of the long put, X of the long put. So if spot drops below the X of the long put, so there's a strike, you could see that we have protection, right? And what's the con? It's expensive. Okay? Okay, now some notes here. Note that the long put is at X1, and the short put is at X2. X1, okay, so, you know, we're gonna work this from the ground up, because on exam day, that's exactly what's gonna happen. You're not gonna memorize this. You're gonna have to build it from the ground up. Okay, so first of all, puts. Am I buying or selling? A put is a right to sell. Is X1 higher or lower? Higher. So sell at a higher price. This is gives you sell at higher price. Therefore, it's going to be the cheaper put or the more expensive put. More expensive, right? So this is going to be the higher premium. And that's it. Because then, therefore, I don't even have to go into this. If that's the higher premium, this will be the lower premium. And where are we going with this? So therefore, combined is the put spread. Are we receiving a net premium or paying a net premium? Paying it. Because the put we're buying is more expensive, right? So we're paying net premium. So you're long, you pay the higher premium, okay? And so the author says, therefore, to reduce the cost of put spread even further, A, sell or short, sell, yeah, we should use short. Short put should have higher strike or lower strike? Higher strike. So short put should have a higher strike. And so if it's got a higher strike, it'll have higher premium. And now we're going to connect these two together. I see the word short. You're shorting something that has a higher premium. So is it your premium cost or premium income that's going to go up? Income, right? You're selling something that's actually quite expensive. So therefore, premium income. Premium income will increase, and therefore hedge cost will decrease. And let me put three arrows. So premium income will increase more, and therefore the hedge costs would drop, okay? Of course, you know there's no free lunch. What's the catch? Go back, I'm sorry? Less protection, right? So the trade-off is less protection on the downside, okay? Okay, and B, so guys, you know there's a lot of variables that go into put, or options for that matter. Strike is just one of them. Are you telling me a put contract on a $100 asset is the same as a put contract on a $100 million asset? So what's the other variable we can change? It's notional principal, right? So it says don't change the strike price, but sell put on a greater scale, okay? So a short put with higher NP and what's the logic? The greater the contract size, the premium will be higher, right? I'm seeing some stunned faces, so I'm not going to move on. Let me give you an analogy. You can buy insurance for $50,000 coverage, or you could buy insurance for $5 million coverage. Which one will have the higher premium? So I got two insurance policies. This one says you got $50,000 coverage if something should happen. This one says you got $50 million coverage if something should happen. Which one is going to be worth more? And that's all it's saying. That's what NP is. So the short put should have a higher NP. Therefore, higher premium. And once again, so you're shorting, and it's got a higher premium, so same thing. So therefore, premium income will go up, and therefore hedge cost would go down. Okay. So strike isn't the only thing to adjust on the option. You can change the contract size, right? So if NP is throwing you off, just say greater contract size, i.e. Greater contract size, okay? So the author just elaborates a bit more. So here's our put spread. So we could be long put at X1 with NP equal to $1, and we could do short put at X2. Oh, it's going to be confusing. Actually, instead of 10, just make it 100, and with MP equal to, let's say, $300, right? Now, what's the trade-off? What's the trade-off? Of course, the short put earn higher income. That's a plus, but what's the trade-off? When is it bad news? When is it bad news? Spot price goes below X2. What's going to happen here? Spot price goes below X2. Here's what's going to happen. Watch this. You got to be so comfortable with this framework, right? Here's my long put. This is my long at X1. There's my X2. Ready? Yeah, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. It's not going to be a 45-degree angle. It's going to be like this. It's going to drop like a stone. So watch what happens here. As this goes there, That goes there. But as soon as the spot price drops below X2, you got $3. This is 1-to-1. This is 1-to-1. And what do you got on the short? It's a 3-to-1 because it's $300 MP. Watch what's going to happen to the gains and losses. It's just going to collapse, right? Right? Because you got $3 down for every $1 up. Okay. Okay. Let me finish this. If spot drops X2, the loss on the short would be greater than the gain on the long. So because here you'd be losing $3, but there you'd be gaining $1, and therefore you're losing $2. We've spent enough time on this. Okay. And part C, do a combo of what are the two things that we did on the short. Do a combo of the following on the short option, on the short put. I mean, it just puts A and B together. Maybe you can adjust the strike price, right? So what did we say? So do a combo to two ways to look at it. Increase premium income, or what's the other way of looking at it? Decrease hedging cost. Change X, give me, so here's your marching orders. Do something to these variables so that my premium income goes up, i.e. hedge cost goes up. Strike price should go up. Make it more attractive. Oh, there, that's what it is. I.e. make the put should be more attractive. Make put more attractive so that the premium income will go up. And the MP should go up. Yeah. More coverage, more attractive insurance. Okay, put a break line. Actually, I gotta finish this and then I'll give you guys a break. 5, seagull. Now, this story has all the characters. So where does it always start from? Long underlying asset. What was the next one? Come on, guys. It's the same. Long put. But then, what was the first? So far, who do we have? This is PP, protective put. But then, what did we do next? We said to reduce the cost, we should short a call. So who do we have? Who's this? It's a caller or short risk reversal. Okay, but remember, it's got everybody. Short put. So it's saying to offset the long call. So therefore, to offset cost of long call, here's the logic. Why are you just selling one option? Why don't you sell 2 options? You get more income, right?
There's no long call.
That's a long put.
Short call.
No, to offset the cost of long put.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Wow, you guys are really on top of this, eh? That is awesome. Okay, here we go. Seagull. What kind of seagull? Long or short seagull?
Short.
Oh, you guys are awesome. It's a short seagull. How did you know it's short? Because the call component is short. Okay. Now you're going to see why this thing is called a seagull. Ready? Yeah, you may want to stretch this because it's got a lot of players here. Right? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. See? And finally, and you could do your X1s, you could do your X2, that's a spot price. But it's really the strike prices that we're really interested in, okay? Ready to do the diagram? Okay, where do we start from? It's looking pretty complicated, doesn't matter. Our approach is always the same. Start from the segment that only has one position. Okay, don't put this part in your notes. I'm just going to do it. What is that? What is that? It's a seagull, right? You can see it? You guys don't like abstract art? That's a seagull. See, that's the head? Okay. So that's where it gets its name from. So that's the head, that's the wings, right? It does look like wings, right? Okay, so, geez, guys, you know what? You guys are masters at this now. If I asked you, where's the risk exposures? Let's accelerate through here. Risk, exposure, and, geez. What do you see? Look, how do you spot risk exposure? See how the gains and losses are here? See how it's going up and down? See how the value of my position is going up and down? Here it's hedged. Here it's hedged. So where are my risk exposures? Between X2 and X3. Where else? If the spot price is less than X1. It's right there. I'm just reading off the diagram, right? And so what's the pro? What's the pro? What's the pro? Now you're getting income from two options. So income is maximized. Wow, via sale, or of two options, right? You got a short call and short put. And therefore, the added income can afford us a more attractive put. So therefore, added income, therefore, can afford to buy a more attractive put. What am I talking about here? I.e. long put with blank X. So now you got all this extra income coming in, which means we can buy an even greater insurance policy, which means buying a put with a higher or lower strike? Higher, yeah. Okay, and part 6, and this is the last one. Actually, is just quick recap, and then I'll go to part 6. To offset cost of long put. In the protective put position, what did the short risk reversal do? Sell call. What What did the put spread do? They said sell a put. And what does the short seagull do? Sell both. Sell both. And that's where it's coming from. And then the last segment of this LOS, so part 6. We can use exotic options, i.e. to reduce hedge cost. And there's 2 kinds. The first one is knock-in option. Knock in and knock out options. So what's the knock-in? Option is activated if spot touches preset strike or preset price. Let's say preset price, and knockout. So what's a knock-in? The option is only activated if the spot touches a preset price, which means if the asset does not touch that price, that option is worthless, even if on expiry date it's in the money. Okay? What do you think a knockout is? An option is the opposite. What's the word we want to use? Let me see here. Ceases, knocked out, if the spot touches a preset price. Okay? Now, what is it with these things? Since these options are they sounding conditional or unconditional? Okay. They're conditional, right? It says, how do I know? How do you know they're conditional? What word gave it away that these are conditional? If, the word if, right? Can I ask you something? What policy would be cheaper? A plain vanilla car insurance policy, or a car insurance policy that has a lot of ifs? So if this happened, then you get coverage. But if this happened, you don't get coverage, right? So if an insurance policy comes with too many conditions, does it become more attractive or less attractive? Yeah. So anything conditional is less attractive, right? So since these options are conditional, they are less attractive. You want an option that's in force until expiry date, not an option that can get knocked out or knocked in if something happens, right? Less attractive, therefore lower premium cost if we buy it. So it's cheaper insurance, right? On the other hand, digital options, payoff, fixed amount if spot touches exercise level at any time before maturity. So, versus so digital option versus European. When is the payoff? With payoff, only if You know what, let's call this payoff call. Let's make this quick, huh? Let's say it's a call option payoff. Only if, when does this pay off? Strike is above X, right? But it's European. At expiry. Digital option, you get the payoff at any time. So fixed payoff. If at any time spot exceeds strike. Do not confuse that with American option. We're not going to go into that much detail, guys. Okay, well, we're not. But the thing is, which is more attractive? This only pays off if S is greater than X on expiry. This says you're guaranteed a payoff if at any time the spot exceeds the strike price. So which is more attractive? Digital. So this one is more attractive. Higher premium. Yeah, but this whole LOS is how to reduce hedging costs. So what trade are you doing with these things? Shorting it. Higher premium. Therefore, by shorting it, hedge cost will come down. Okay. Okay. Cross out 19G. Guys, let's not make this too long. I'll give you 10 minutes. Come back at 8:20, please.